Good afternoon, I'm Jeff. I'm a Sewer Tech Northwest. Today we're at property address 2329 North Gray Street here in Cornelius. We're located at the front of the home. Straight out from the front door here, we have a 3-inch ABS clean out at our point of access. I'm going to insert the camera and check the overall condition and serviceability of the sanitary sewer line. Currently we have water running. Here we go. And just transitioned there over to 4-inch 3034 PVC pipe. Here 44 feet, just about 45, we hit the main. We're going to do locates to verify where the terminus is at and then let it drain out here. It looks like we do have some standing water towards the end of the line. We'll take a good look at that once it's drained out. Alright, just located the camera head successfully out at the main lateral on North Gray. Still draining out here. And I noticed inside, flushing one of the toilets there by the kitchen, it's either clogged or is having a hard time draining. We're going to reverse direction at the end here and scope back into the house and look for any issues in there. We've had all the water turned off here for a few minutes now. It looks like we have a small amount trickling down the line. I'm guessing it's from one of the toilets. The flapper maybe stuck a little bit. We're going to keep reeling back here. That's going to continue to do that. But it really won't exaggerate this belly all that much. It's very, very light trickle. And my rule of thumb with bellies, typically once you get at least 5 feet of pipe with at least an inch of standing water or more, that is where I typically, or right at that 1-inch point though, is where I typically start to see toilet paper collecting the line. And this belly here is right at 1 inch. It's just going over the top of the camera lens. You can see how this spot here is allowing junk to collect in it. Not that you can't live with a belly like this, but they become an issue, especially if you have kids in the house or a bunch of people. They do not handle debris very well at all, and especially if you're putting paper towels and grease down the sink and stuff like that. And it looks like the belly starts here right about at 30 feet. And you can see that's right where the some grease and stuff is starting to collect on the sidewalls. Anyway, due to the fact that this has an inch of standing water in it, I am going to recommend a repair here. The belly is 15 feet long, or about 14, goes from 30 feet to 14 feet, or 44 feet. You can live with these, but what I highly recommend is getting the line. At this point, it's not terribly dirty. I would still get it jetted if you're going to live with the belly to clean it out, and then I'd rescope it in 1 year to get an idea of how it's handling your living habits. Every household is vastly different. There might be one person in here right now, and you might have 4 moving in, or after you move out. So that's where I like to see these issues getting taken care of. But if you're being careful, just putting folded toilet paper down the toilet and not putting any grease, cooking oil, stuff like that down the sink, just food down the disposal. Generally a belly like this is not going to cause you too many problems. But if you're putting a lot of stuff down there that shouldn't be going down the line, this can be an issue. Now we're going to check this thing out one more time here. As I was just reeling back through this after painting where the main lateral is at, the water level was much lower than it was when we scoped this originally. So it's possible we had a bunch of debris sitting in the flow line, kind of damming up the pipe. We're going to give this another look here. Sometimes with the camera moving back and forth, the camera will slosh water in and out of the belly and reduce the amount that's in it. So we just ran the sink there for for a couple minutes and shut it off. So we'll let this kind of fill back up here to the extent it's going to, and then check it out one more time. Because if it's sitting at a 1/4 inch of water in that area, that's something that's, I mean, definitely not worth tearing up the roadway for. Definitely not. It's about a 6-foot deep line and the entire belly. It starts at the street curb and extends out to the middle of the road, so the whole thing is under concrete and 6 feet deep. Alright, line's drained out now. We're going to push out to the end here and reel it back. Alrighty. And so far we're at a 1/4 of an inch there. It's looking like we probably scraped some debris off the sidewalls of the pipe. That's more than likely what happened, and it sat in the flow line and kind of dammed things up. Now right there we're about a 1/2 of an inch of water. We're getting down to about a 1/4 inch there, so yeah, it looks like that's actually draining out much better than it originally looked like. So for that reason, I am not going to recommend a repair on the line, and there's so little debris in here that I would not even recommend a Hydrojet. Now, just so you know, this can still be an issue, but right off the bat, this is not something I would recommend repairing, because it's going to be a very expensive repair job to fix that. Again, it's 6 feet deep, and it's all under the roadway. At this time, what I would still do, because I don't know how many people are moving into the house or whether there's kids or not, I still recommend re-scoping at the 1-year mark to see what the line's looking like there. Even though it's not a terribly deep belly, that can still cause you some problems. If you're putting paper towels and cooking oil down the sink, tampons down the toilet, paper towels, that kind of stuff, that will still collect in an area like that. But that amount of water there typically will not cause toilet paper to collect in the line. Alright, we just reversed direction. We're now scoping back into the home here. Looks like we had some pretty slow draining toilets there, or at least the one by the kitchen was. Come back into here and see if we've got anything going on. We do have some standing water here in the line, in the crawl space. That looks like we're hitting the back of the line right there. That looks like a clean out cap we're staring at. And that's as far as I can really go there. I believe there is another branch off the line, but we can't really scope that without yanking the toilet. But at the back of the line here, we do have an inch of standing water. And you can see we do have some grease that's collected at the top of the pipe there and debris. That generally only happens when a pipe gets clogged up. This belly, like the others, you know, I believe that there is a toilet that is tying right into the back here by this clean out. It's just hard to see because we have a bathroom at the very back of the house. But dumping straight into that spot right there. This is at the toilet's strongest point of flushing because this is right next to where the toilet's dumping in. But it's also a spot that if you put a big wad of toilet paper down the line, it can get clogged here fairly easily. And if that happens, I mean, you only have about 10 feet of pipe to fill up before it does back up on you. So for that reason, I do recommend adjusting that. And a lot of times in the crawl space, all you have to do is adjust the strapping that holds the pipe in place. Anyway, it's another one that is livable, so don't get me wrong. You're not just going to have a backup the first day you move in, but it's a spot that, as long as you're not flushing things down there that shouldn't go down the line. But right here at, looks like it ends at 19 feet. And it starts right here at about 14 feet, so it's right on the money there. A 5-foot section with with an inch of standing water. And this is a pretty easy spot to figure out inside the crawl space. You just basically go to the back of the line where the clean out's at and adjust about the first 4 or 5 feet of this line here. Again, that usually just requires adjusting the strapping inside there, so not anywhere near as involved as fixing a belly under the roadway. So I do recommend a correction here. Again, there's still adequate flow to the main at this point, even with that belly in the line there, but it's a spot that can get clogged. If the line's going to clog anywhere, it's going to be right here in this particular spot. That really will only affect the rear bathroom. The front bathroom ties in much further in front of this, so just keep that in mind. But it is something that can be lived with. I don't want you having nightmares about it, but it's, if you know or think anyone in the household has habits, everyone does, of putting things down the line that shouldn't go down there, like if you've got kids using that back bathroom, that's something I would suggest getting corrected. We're going to go ahead and reel the camera on out of the line. But that too, like the other belly, as long as you're just putting full toilet paper down the line, more than likely that's not going to cause too many issues there. As you can see, it's quite clean and clear of debris.